Okay, so how big is the Earth in Dragon Ball? Surprisingly, the answer actually might shock you because I didn't even know this myself until I did the research. Okay, so what I have behind me right here is an official map of the Dragon Ball world. This comes from the Daizenshu 4. And if you guys didn't know already that the guidebooks are the most credible information about Dragon Ball. As Akira Toriyama stated inside one of the guidebooks signed, that he himself forgets a lot of information about the show. So he looks for information within the guidebooks. Now here's that same exact map just translated in English. In this manga panel right here, we see that General Tao is trying to find Goku. You can see that he's having a conversation with one of his minions saying that Goku is at Korin's tower. Then General Tao says that's 2,300 kilometers away from here. Based off of this map, Korin's tower is right here and General Tao's place is right here. Just based off of those two quadrants alone, we could then pixel scale and see how big this map is in circumference. Now me personally, I don't believe in pixel scaling because there's no way that the manga artists can be perfect with measurements for every single panel every single time. So it's going to be inconsistent a lot of the times. But for this is very different because this is the only official map that we have. So everything is going to stay the same measurements no matter what. So once we pixel scale those 2 points and then measure it across the map, we get that the circumference of the Dragon Ball Earth is a little bit over 100,000 kilometers, which is a little bit over 2 times bigger than the actual Earth that we live on. Another way how we can prove how consistent this is with the actual logic and rules that happens within Dragon Ball. There are so many times in multiple instances where characters who are faster than light tend to show up too late for a battle. And we can actually even go deeper with this, because a lot of you guys don't know that Dr. Slump is actually a part of the Dragon Ball universe. There are 2 separate mangas that share the same Earth. In this part of the Dr. Slump anime, this guy is talking about something in outer space being 4 billion kilometers away from Earth. And then right after he says that's enough distance to travel once around our planet, which is the same planet that Dragon Ball resides on, which is why you see so many crossovers with Dr. Slump and Dragon Ball, because Penguin Island is right there and that's where all the Dr. Slump characters are. So if we were to divide this number by our Earth's circumference, the Dragon Ball Earth would be around 900 times bigger than the sun, which is insane. But it is more consistent being 2 times bigger than Earth. If you wanted to use this argument, you could. Which brings me to my next point. How does this affect the scaling in Dragon Ball? Well, if we were to use 4 billion as the circumference of the Earth, it would increase the scaling significantly. But for the sake of the argument, since it's more consistent, we're going to just keep it as 2 times bigger than the Earth, or a little bit over 2 times bigger than the Earth. And y'all remember the feat that Master Roshi did when he blew up the moon, right? Well, it turns out that Akira Toriyama in that interview says that the moon is the same distance as the real world Earth's. And on top of all that, we also got multiple indications inside the show that the solar system is exactly the same how our solar system is. This quite literally means that every celestial body that's inside Dragon Ball is at least over 2 times bigger than the celestial bodies in our real world. Because if the Dragon Ball Earth is 2 times bigger and the moon is just the same size, as at the same distance as our real world's Earth, the moon would literally come into the Earth from the gravitational pull. So it would only make logical sense that the celestial bodies have to be a little bit bigger as well to keep the same gravitational force. And that goes for all the celestial bodies in our solar system, which makes Roshi's feat a lot more impressive.